StarCast is proudly sponsored by Doghouse Systems. Go to doghousesystems.com for the best gaming PCs around, and also some of the best customer service around. Use the code StarCast or Biscuit on your next purchase. You'll get yourself a $25 Jinx card and support StarCast in the process. Once again, that's doghousesystems.com. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy episode 80 of StarCast, the StarCraft podcast.
Yeah, it's about damn time for StarCast.
Incoming transmission.
Biscuit.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the 80th episode of StarCast, the StarCraft podcast. I am your host, Garrett Weinzerl, and with me, as always, is Kyle Ferguson, and joining us for the first time is member of EG.LzGaMeR. How are you doing, Jacob?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to be here. So yeah, just excited.
Great. It's a pleasure having you on. And Kyle, you doing well today?
Oh yes, very well. Got to enjoy some Thanksgiving. Passed out on a couch. Played lots of Skyrim. Working on my 1v1s again. Stopped fooling around in 2v2s a little bit.
Well, you got far enough up in 2v2, you just decided, all right, it's time to actually play the game again.
Yeah, but now I'm almost masters 2v2. I want to stop, but maybe we'll see.
Nice. Now, we'll just start casting 2v2 games to see if that can go legit.
I don't know.
So, well, all right, for all of those joining us for the first time, LzGaMeR is going to be on the show today as our guest host. There'll be a formal interview in strategies because we got just a ton of strategy-related questions for you, Jacob, so figured why not just put the whole interview in the strategy section.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah. A few things just at the top here. At the end of the show, listeners Pat and Dan, they went to MLG Providence, 2 weeks ago now, and they got an interview with multiple players and personalities at MLG. So at the end of today's show, we would be playing those interviews for you. Apparently they entitled it MLG Gets Bronzed, so make sure you stick around for that. And also, StarCast is sponsoring the NASL Finals Barcraft at the KO Bistro in Seattle, Washington this Sunday. In the show notes, there's a link to their Facebook group, and it's going to be at the KO Bistro, once again at Seattle, Washington, December 4th. It starts at 5 o'clock. It goes until 11, and it'll be the NASL Season 2 Finals and the GSL Finals. So go check that out, and big thanks to forum member Discorax for helping set that up.
Not only is he helping to set it up, but he's bringing his entire advertising business with him. So all I can picture is these guys in suits just sitting there trying to figure out the market, looking so confused. Hopefully it'll be some good games for him.
Yeah, definitely. He wrote in, I want to say 2 weeks ago, if you listeners don't remember, saying that he had to do this presentation to where he works, talking about the effectiveness of marketing in the esports industry, and apparently he just knocked everyone in the room, kind of out of their seats. Everyone was like, "Wow, I didn't know that there was this big, huge market to a younger demographic." So very cool. I agree with you, Kyle. Hope he makes a splash. So, well, all right, let's get into episode 80. It's time for this week's status report.
Can we get a status report?
Okay, it's time to talk about some of the little news tidbits that's been happening through the week. First off, Blizzard is offering an esports writer internship for this summer, and unfortunately, I am not a student anymore, so I can't get this. But for those of you listening who may still be in college and apparently have to plan to return to college the following year, you should definitely go check this out. Once again, there is a link in the show notes, as always. It'd be really cool if one of our listeners, got that internship. It'd be really neat to write esports articles for Blizzard HQ.
Now, there's enough community colleges in the world that you could just make one up, right, Garrett? You could go back for a year.
I had definitely considered that. Like, I could work for Blizzard over the summer. That could be fun. I'll just run down to my local community college and, enroll real quick. But
now, despite the list of requirements here, they say that a plus is you have to be in Diamond, so you best get playing, Garrett.
Shut up. So, yeah, there's that. Go check that out. And StarCraft finally gets the authenticator bypass. I don't think a lot of just StarCraft players have an authenticator on their account, but if you're like me and you came from, World of Warcraft and you already had an authenticator on your account, it's quite annoying because it's like, well, I don't really care if somebody hacks my StarCraft account. Why is the authenticator even here?
True.
I have a question about that. Like, it gets really annoying switching servers because people like me who play on 3 different servers, the North American realm, the Europe realm, you have to keep using that authenticator every time you switch a server, There needs to be a better system than that.
Yeah, well now, as long as you're logging in from the same IP, it will not ask you to re-enter your authenticator.
Oh, okay.
So, obviously, I believe, you do quite a bit of traveling, Jacob, so you'll probably have to re-enter it once you get to whatever tournament you're at. But then subsequent logins from that same IP won't be an issue. Finally, this is a really funny little bit of news. Robert Clotworthy, a.k.a. the voice of Jim Raynor, thanked StarCraft 2 fans on his Wikipedia page. He added I guess you can add a soundbite on Wikipedia pages. I wasn't aware of this. And he added a soundbite. And the page isn't just about his career with StarCraft 2. It's about everything he's ever done, from commercials to, I guess he does that show that you were talking about a while ago, Kyle, Ancient Aliens. That's kind of pretty bogus on Discovery Channel. But
it's all aliens.
Yeah, but his clip is just him thanking the community of StarCraft 2 for their love and support, and I thought it was pretty awesome. Can we play the clip live? I'm yelling at our guy behind the curtain, Patrick. I'm not sure if we can actually play it live. I will take that as a no.
Right,
it says yes. 1 sec. Never mind. Usually we have Patrick in a little box up in the corner and he can wave like yes, but his camera is not functioning today. Awkward silence.
That's normally where he would say something, but he's not here, so he can't say anything. Now there's just 3.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, not today.
Apparently that's not going to work. So, all right. Well, that's pretty much all we wanted to guide you guys towards in Status Report this week. Now let's get into our formal interview. Let's put Jacob to work. It's time for strategies.
Nuclear launch detected.
Oh, hell. Strategies.
It is time for strategies, and some of the first questions may not be too strategy related, but we weren't going to break it up over 2 segments. That would make no sense at all. So I guess before we get to the questions from our listeners, Jacob, why don't you just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, just right off the top?
Okay, sure. My name's Jacob Winstead. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I've been a competitive StarCraft 1 player since 2005, and then I transitioned to StarCraft 2 at the very beginning of beta. I've been in Team Evil Geniuses since the beginning of their StarCraft 1 time period, and transitioned, of course, into StarCraft 2. So that's the tidbits about me.
Nice. Well, our first group of questions comes from listener Naruto, and he asks, where did your name, EG.LzGaMeR, come from?
Okay, it's kind of a corny thing, but when back in like 2003 maybe, I was just playing, of course, StarCraft with friends. I had no idea there was a competitive scene. It was just, we played fastest or BGH maps, of course, 3v3. We played free-for-alls, backstab each other. Anyways, my ID then was Lord Zerg. That was my whole ID altogether. Well, it was on the US East server, and an X17 member actually stole my account, so I needed a new ID. And so I just put gamer behind it and dropped the L and the Z, right? So it's just EG.LzGaMeR. And, of course, I was never planning on this actually sticking with me for like the next 10 years, but it happened to be where that happened, So an ID that I thought was like the coolest sounding thing back when I was like 13 turned into where it's like, wow, that sounds so lame now. But it stuck with me, so it's who I am. It's my identity.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's the story of almost every handle ever. I know Kyle here has lamented. How many handles do you have, Kyle, that are like named after animes that you liked when you were 12 or something?
Oh my god, more than I want. Gundam Wing all over the place.
At least you,
I think everyone has a story like that, though. So
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So, the next question: how long have you been playing? And oh well, I guess you kind of mentioned that when you started. You've been playing since Brood War, since '05.
right. Well, competitively since '05. That was the first year I took StarCraft Brood War competitively. I found out there was a scene. I watched some VOD of Koreans screaming in the audience, big signs in the air that said like, go hot forever, or some really old school pro gamer. But I've been playing StarCraft 1 probably since 2002, 2003, something like that.
What would you say I guess to go off that question, what would you say your gaming history? Some people say Zelda was the very first game that made them a gamer.
Oh man, Mario and Duck Hunt was the first games I played, the very original Nintendo. I've been a gamer my whole life. So
that's exactly. We had a MLG Clutch on last week. That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, so I was tearing it up in Duck Hunt back in the day. These new kids just don't even know what's up.
Sweet plastic pistol APM, right?
That's it. That was so good. I'd like walk up to the screen, never missed.
Pressing it against it.
Nice. Well, listener Psych wrote in. He said, "Did you know right away that you would be playing StarCraft 2 professionally?"
I knew I would be from the way Brood War worked. I knew I was one of the top American players. I had no problems qualifying for the national finals for WCG, which was at that time in Brood War, that was the only big tournament really in the scene. And I knew that I could do the same in StarCraft 2, where I could compete with all the best players. And, it's obviously been a rocky road. It's my StarCraft 2 career, but I still have plenty of faith to where it's going to end up.
Nice. That's awesome. I remember first getting into StarCraft 2 and just being like, God, I wish I could. I wish I was younger, could play professionally. This would just be awesome. But
I skipped over that idea completely. Do you remember the Vulture from Spider-Man? His superpower was he just flew around and sucked out other people's superpowers. Right. Except for it didn't have the drama of Rogue or any of the other X-Men things.
Oh, okay, so you just go to MLG, walk up to like MC, and just be like, "Ha, mine."
Well, not so dramatically. It'd be more like a bump, just a little touch.
Gotcha.
Feel a little bit from everyone.
So there you go.
Yeah. Mark wrote in. He said, "I've already heard some of the general reasons, but could you go in depth to why you made a race switch to Zerg?"
Okay. In StarCraft 1, I played Zerg. That was the only race I say only race. I actually was a matchup user, so I played like Zerg versus Protoss, Zerg versus Terran, but then I didn't play the mirror matchup, ZVZ. And instead I played Protoss versus Zerg. Well, so it didn't Zerg really never leaned towards my strengths in a playstyle, I felt like, in StarCraft 1, because I'm a very creative player. But Zerg is not a really creative race. I mean, they do have some strategies, of course, but it's mostly reactionary and just, macro-oriented and stuff like that, to where Terran and Protoss are, in my opinion, it's way more creative. So when I saw all the stuff for StarCraft 2 coming out, I decided that I was going to try to play Terran at the beginning, which I felt like I had really good success with Terran. I did really well in the beta. I, dominated a lot of tournaments, even knocking out great players like Idra. But it came to a point to where mechanics starting to become a factor in StarCraft 2, to where my mechanics as Terran was really just not there. Like, it's so opposite of what Zerg is and what I did for like 5, 6, 7 years, however long it was in StarCraft 1. So I decided that, this isn't leaning towards what feels comfortable to me. So I switched back to Zerg in StarCraft 2 because the mechanics, the way Zerg plays, the tech switching, the reactionary play is what favors me, I find. So that's the reason I switched.
Right. Oh, that's very cool. It's kind of interesting how you had your own kind of personal metagame.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Octane Pro writes in. He said, "When and how did you know it was time to move from Brood War to StarCraft 2 competitively?" Just right away?
The minute it was announced, we were like, okay, I'm switching.
Auto mine, I'm over there.
Yeah, exactly. So the minute it was announced and like there was a release date, I stopped playing StarCraft altogether because it was like, okay, I'm not touching this game anymore. So there was like a 6-month period maybe a little bit less, where pretty much Team EG didn't play StarCraft Brood War anymore, and instead we played League of Legends. So for a time period, we were almost like a League of Legends team for Team Evil Geniuses.
Oh, that's funny. A personal question: if you had to pick, just one thing about StarCraft 2 that you just loved over what you could do in Brood War, what would it be? Be it control group sizes, auto mining.
I don't think it's auto mining as much. I think it's definitely the control group sizes where you have unlimited. It really helps Zerg, I find, especially in Brood War when you can only have 12 units in a hotkey and you had 5,000 Zerglings across the map. Obviously, that's a over-exaggeration, but it was just so hard to control that. And now it's much easier to control your army the way it should be controlled, the way Protoss can control their army. So I feel like it kind of evens the playing field as far as like the micro standpoint.
Right. How were you introduced to Team Evil Geniuses?
All right. Well, I was back in Team Media with In Control, Artosis, Machine, G5, Noni. I'm probably missing a couple. But pretty much we were just like the best players in the North American scene, and we weren't sponsored by anybody. We were just pretty much a friend-made clan of the best players. So all we did was just pretty much practice with each other. And playing, I think, like one team league that they actually had going on for probably no prize money. So we kind of got contacted. I think they contacted Machine right off the bat and was like, hey, we're interested in putting together, recruiting some of the best StarCraft Brood War players for a StarCraft 2 team when the game comes out, because it was already announced at this point, right? So they were already in preparation for, getting ready to make the transition, make the switch.
Right.
Well, and so I think the starting team was like me, In Control, Machine, Nyokin, I think Louder. And I think that was our 5 people that we had in StarCraft Brood War. And we were great players. We all went to the national finals every year for WCG and Brood War. I think the one year that we were on EG, right before StarCraft 2 came out. And then StarCraft 2 eventually did come out, and we made the switch over. So that's kind of how it all started off. It all started with like one of the general managers from Evil Geniuses contacting one of the players. I'm pretty sure it was Machine. And he just kind of was like, hey, yeah, I know who the best players are, and we can definitely, make a team out of this. And so that's just kind of how it was born.
Sweet. As an employee for EG, how does your employment differ from a normal employee/employer relationship?
All right. Well, I'm not so sure it's any real difference. I mean, it's obviously different, but it's not. It's still like, they still demand stuff from you. Sometimes there's still obligations that you have to meet. There's still hours that you have to put in. Even though I'm like, I know Scott, I'm great friends with Scott and Alex, but it's still like they are my boss. To the sense you look at it. So, nothing really changes. It's still like, to me, it's the same thing as if I'm working a 9-to-5 job. Because I'm still putting in. Actually, I'm putting in probably more hours than a 9-to-5 job ever would imagine. But yeah, you just don't get overtime.
Yeah, I'm sure. I doubt you're just like you drive to work, you walk in, you punch the EG clock, and
yeah, exactly.
Where's LZ? He was supposed to be sitting down laddering an hour ago. He's late.
Darn it.
A lot of us listeners are dying to ask. You have a great supportive girlfriend. How do you balance gaming and a successful relationship?
Uh-oh, here's the tricky question. You can't. No, obviously you can. It's very difficult. I think it really takes a supportive girlfriend for it to even be possible, though. Like, if she's, she always wants your attention, she doesn't like you to practice or do whatever a professional gamer needs to do, then I think it's like doomed to fail. But if you have a supportive girlfriend that cares about what you do and cares about your passions and what you want to accomplish in life, then I don't really find it's that hard to balance it, because they understand that, you can't be with them 24/7, that you have that the time you're, let's even say, laddering is the same as if you were at work or something. So they give you your space to do what you need to do while you still have a time on, like, the weekends or something to be able to, go to a movie or something like that.
So well, very nice. All the nerds with girlfriends out there just like to the ear. What? Yes. Okay. Cool.
What? I need to become professional.
5 of them.
All 5. Yes. Kyle and I, both attended our first MLG at Orlando this past year, and we were both very surprised by the amount of girls that actually attend these tournaments.
Yeah, and it's actually a growing number every time. It's actually pretty shocking, and the fangirlism grows too. So I just can't wait to see what happens in a couple of years. It's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I can't wait for the gender lines to just kind of be non-existent.
Exactly.
So,
it's going to be awesome.
CVO Ramlead writes in. He says, "What advice do you have for players that are trying to become pro gamers?"
You better have a lot of patience. Just learning the game and dedicating to the game is not a hop, skip, and a jump. It is going to be the most frustrating thing you've ever done in your life, because you're going to have to learn to love to lose, because that's the way you actually learn the game. And it's something that, I get pissed off when I lose games. I'm just like, oh my god, I just lost to this person, and I'm furious. But I'm not mad at the person who beat me. I'm mad at myself, right? And that's what you kind of have to use. It's determination to keep improving, to keep practicing. It's I think it's going to be an amazing industry. The way the professional gaming is growing, and esports in general in the West and pretty much all across the world, it's absolutely amazing, and I'm just an honor to be a part of it. But for anyone trying to make it to become a pro gamer, I would just say, hang in there, keep practicing. I wouldn't give anybody the advice, it's like, hey, I'm in my third year of college, I'm thinking about dropping out and becoming a professional gamer. I would say, no, don't do that. It's probably not, it's a long shot, but it obviously can happen.
Right,
so.
Right, yeah. So stop breaking your keyboards, don't rage.
Exactly. Or if you have extras, then you can break a couple. It's fine.
There you go. Achilles writes in. He's actually a staff writer for Team Evil Geniuses. He asks, you have not been living over in the EG house in Arizona. Do you think that you'll be able to keep your skill up in comparison to the rest of your teammates?
I think so. Obviously, living at the house is a great asset. There's lots of great things that can come from living with a house full of great gamers like Idra, Machine, and Control. But I don't think that it's going to be well, I'm not living there, I guess I'm not going to be able to compete, or they're just going to, dominate me from now on, or move up in skill leaps and bounds over me. Because I still do practice with them, I still am able to still get that one-on-one time with the players and in the games, and also be able to see where I'm at, use their skill level to make sure that I'm not being passed up or anything like that. So as of now, no, I don't feel like me not living there is going to hold me back from being able to achieve great. But I guess time will tell.
Cool. Who are some of your go-to practice partners? When you have a choice, when you're not laddering.
Axlav's one of my favorite go-to practice partners. He's a person that just loves to game, and we could just play 20 games in a row. I remember back over the summer, I was living with the EG guys for a month. So I was living with Axlav, Strife Crow, In Control, and Machine, and Idra. Right? We were in Chino for 2 weeks. We were in Phoenix for 2 weeks, and I think we also went to Anaheim for the MLG Anaheim.
Right.
And me and Axlav probably played 20 games a day for 2 weeks straight. He's just a really good practice partner to play against. He has a lot of different builds, and he's also very smart about the game, so he can help pinpoint things that I even could work on or even fix in my play. So he's one of my favorite go-tos. Machine's also another great guy who is the reason that we call him Machine is because he just loves to play the game over and over and over. Kind of how he got his name from Brood War. He was one of those guys, you beat him, and he wouldn't stop playing you until he won. So sometimes he didn't sleep. But
sounds like my old roommate and Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, love that game. It's a good game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had one guy who just wouldn't give up. It's 4 a.m. I have a test tomorrow. Go away. No, I have to beat you. Quasar writes in, he says, if you weren't a pro gamer, what do you see yourself doing?
Have no idea. I mean, now it's so hard because I've been in the industry for so long, right? So it's man, I have so much time invested into this. it's hard to say what I would be doing if I could go all back, and I never was introduced to StarCraft Brood War. I'm sure I would have done the normal thing. I would have went to college, graduated with some high-paying job. But, but that didn't happen. And so, but I absolutely love where I'm at now, but who knows what I would be doing. I would probably be doing something computer-related, maybe like web design or something like that, because I've always been into computers or the internet or something like that. So that's probably where I would see myself.
Oh, very cool. Out of curiosity, how old were you when you started? You said you started in 05?
Yeah, I'm actually, I just turned 26.
Okay.
So 05, I think I was like 16, 17 years old when that whole thing started, right?
Well, you're a year older than me. I graduated high school in 05, so it would have put me at 18. So you must have been 19.
Yeah, that's perfectly understandable because no decisions were reached at that age.
No, I think I was like, probably when I first started the StarCraft thing, though, like the whole landslide, I was probably like 16, and then it just kind of came to where it was like, okay, I think I'm going to go to college, and then I just kind of got addicted to the game, to be honest. I mean, I think that's how everybody's story is. Like, I just fell in love with this game, and I just kept playing it. Like, it's just hilarious how, Artosis, even you could look at his story, and he lived in his grandmother's attic forever, and, we played StarCraft on New Year's together and stuff, and it was like we had no lives, but we loved our life regardless.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and was your family supportive when you first got going, or was that something that kind of happened down the road, or has it never happened?
Yeah, they definitely are supportive now. I don't think they started off as supportive. They were just like, well, okay, we'll support you, kinda, but we're telling you that you're wasting your life. It was more like that. But after, I think the first couple of years, they got on board. They understood my passion, and they were really supportive over everything. And so shout out to them.
Very awesome. Shadow Wisp asks, how often do you stream, and how important do you think it is?
How important do I think streaming is?
Yes.
Okay. I stream usually every morning, Monday through Friday is what I aim for. Obviously, it's a hit and miss thing. But, so usually I stream for like 3 hours, probably Monday through Friday. Usually around probably 10 p.m. Eastern to 1 or 2 in the afternoon, something like that. And I don't know how important it is. I mean, it used to be really important. I used to love streaming. I was the actual second ever streamer on Team Liquid. Like, there was no streamers back in Brood War. There was nobody who did it. It was I think it was Rage TV or Rage, whatever. I don't know. He's like from Bulgaria, I believe. And then it was Rhett. He set up Rhett's stream, and then Rhett helped me set up my stream. And you couldn't make any money from it. There was nothing you got out of it. It was just for the love of streaming, and that's what I loved about it. There was a lot of people who watched. Or a lot of people in Brood War terms. That's like, 200 people. You are hitting big numbers then, right? Now it's like you can look at, and Idra has like 10,000 on. It's like, what is going on? This is definitely not the same era as when I used to, stream all the time. And now it's like, it's turned to where more people are doing it to make money, and that's like the whole sole purpose of it. And I don't know, that kind of turns me away from it some, because it's like, sure, making money is great, but it's still not the same reason that I would stream or I'd love to stream, right? Because it's all about, entertaining people or, the comments after the game. I love people to watch, and then I could go and look at the chat in the game and it'd be like, oh, this guy says so-and-so. Which usually now it's like, wow, LZ, you frickin' suck, or something.
Oh, no.
It's always a troll in the chat. So,
yeah.
But, I still do think it's really important, though, that for the community, streaming is great. It's great entertainment, and it can only grow the scene in the long run.
Do you think there's a lot of competition between various streamers? I mean, clearly Day 9's pulling huge numbers every day. Is there, on that pro scene, do you guys argue about that or get worried about it?
I don't know if anyone argues or gets worried about it, but there's definitely like the big fish in the sea, I guess you could say, which is like, as you mentioned, Day 9. There's TLO. There's Destiny. Destiny's a really big fish. He's a very popular streamer. In Control's pretty popular. Cats is pretty popular. But there's a lot of streamers, and there's a lot of competition with like streaming because everyone tries to get the most amount of viewers they can, kind of thing. So, but yeah, there's definitely some competition, but I don't think it goes to like a personal level or anything like that.
Well,
just
that's good.
Just real quick, I dropped out. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes,
Lovely.
you're good.
You're
There
good.
goes Skype. It doesn't matter what computer I'm on. What do you think might be a good way to boost stream traffic?
Have no idea. Haven't thought about it. Have no comment about that.
Add pyrotechnics to your webcam.
Yeah, I mean,
Constant
it's
smoke.
really the best way of boosting those kind of things. People love commentary. People love for you to be able to do play-by-play while you play, and some people are really good at that, and some people like cannot do it at all. Like they try, but it's one thing either goes or fails, or they're cutting in and out. So that's one thing that people love, is a very educational stream, that they can learn a lot from. The next is like an entertainment, and that's what I think Destiny brings. He's always entertaining. He's always Idra also has that same thing as well. Idra's always leaving games without GGing, and people are like, oh, did you see that? He didn't GG. And no one really cares, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people make it out to be something, even if it's not anything.
Quick, post it on Reddit.
Yeah, upvote.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Do you feel the StarCraft 2 esports scene suffers from an oversaturation of events? GSL is a prime example, as it has above 10 title holders in only a year. How are we supposed to get non-gamers into esports when there is no one tournament we can point to that seems definitive? For example, a non-football fan can often be coerced into attending a Super Bowl party.
Right. There is a lot of events, but you could look at it to where, yes, it could, be as you said, and maybe even hinder in a way. But then if you look at the other, it's always keeping people entertained. There's always something that's like, okay, it's DreamHack this weekend, it's MLG next weekend, it's the GSL finals the next weekend. So it's always giving people something to do and something to, go to look at Team Liquid or look at Reddit, and always being fed their esports that they're looking for. So in my opinion, it only helps grow the scene, the more events we have, because the more events we have, the more money there is in as far as for the players. Prize pools, whatever, and that obviously will mean more and more sponsors. So,
I
in
agree.
the long run, I agree.
Yeah, and seeing as all of this is digested through internet, and we're not on ESPN,
Right.
And we don't have millions and millions of viewers. We have thousands upon thousands of viewers. I think a constant media out there to be digested is the only way it will really be able to sustain itself, at least in its current form.
Right.
But we've been asked this question before on the show. What would you consider to be the Super Bowl event of StarCraft 2?
Well, I think the hardest one is the GSL. Like, I think that's the absolute hardest tournament there is in the scene or the world or whatever you want to call it. But my favorite is still MLG. But maybe I'm biased because that's the only one. That's like the biggest one I've ever been to. Like, I've been to the whole MLG circuit, and I really love the event. I love the way they do it. I wish they had more chairs, so whoever's behind that, please fix that. I don't know what the problem is. We need a stadium, all right? So fill a stadium next time.
We really do.
It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, jumping ahead, if you saw the stream from DreamHack, that's the stadium we need.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was insane.
that would be great.
It was absolutely nuts. Yeah, because at MLG Orlando, my ass got flattened out by that concrete. It was bad.
Everyone's does.
Yeah.
Well, not mine. I just go up to the front row. It's like, hey, beat it.
Yeah,
It sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. It's a hit and
Yeah.
miss strategy.
yeah. I would say, well, you've got the EG shirt, but now everyone has the EG
Now
shirt.
everyone has it, yeah. It's like, no, I'm really on the team. I just want to cheer my teammate on. They're like,
There are-
you're a fake.
There are so many Idra doppelgangers, by the way. You go to these tournaments and you see so many people in EG shirts that have like short shaved heads with like short stubbly beards. It's just like, Idra, oh wait, no,
Actually,
you're a fan.
There's actually like 3 clones of him running around at every MLG. I've known him for years. I've seen him so many times at different events, but sometimes I still even get confused. Some of the fans look just like Idra. It's actually kind of freaky, to be honest.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like going to a concert and you see people that look like the lead singer. But no, at StarCraft, we just see a bunch of people with like, the chin strap beards. They all look like Idra.
Well, it happens on the ladder, too. You're like doing a 4v4 placement, and you're like, Idra, this isn't that guy.
Oh yeah, I'm in gold. This
Yeah.
is Idra.
And he's like saying good luck, have fun in the beginning. It's like, okay, This is not the real Idra.
He six pulls you. Okay, that's the final straw.
Lord Zerg, get out of here.
Yeah. It's like I'm reporting this to Reddit right now.
I just got six pulled by Idra.
Mm-hmm.
Discarax writes, and his first question is a little wordy. It says there's a very potent thread on Reddit right now talking about how esports, and in particular the StarCraft 2 scene, is an old boys club with guys like Sean, Jeff, JP, Marcus, Dan, Nick, Tyler, Greg, etc. being the establishment as far as journalism. These personalities are often sponsored by or even work for many of the leagues and teams they should be reporting on. Because of that, many of the controversial and hard-hitting questions are never asked and certainly not answered. Jeff, in particular, expressed concern that when a player criticizes a league, it could be potentially career-ending. I want to get your thoughts as a pro gamer on how you think the StarCraft 2 community at large can actively advance/improve the scene, leagues, tournaments, journalism, entertainment value, etc. It seems that currently the only real mechanism we have is our views and to some extent our wallets.
Yeah, I noticed that too. That like now Slasher works for MLG, so he can't be really critical about anything MLG ever does. And if he goes out after anybody, or he says something to about GSL or the way they're doing things, then it looks like MLG is attacking this person because he's like by association. So it actually comes down to where it's like people need to either decide if they're going to be a journalist or if they're going to be, they're going to represent their company or their whatever, because so many people are like have one foot on each base, right? They're not playing really one side or the other. And I don't really know the way that needs to be fixed because, like you said, so many of the JPs, the in controls, the slashers, etc., are such a big part of the esports, how it is right now. So many people look to them to be the same journalists that they once were, but now they have associations they're tied with, and they can't really be that same outspoken self.
Yeah, I agree with that. What can the programmers do to advance / improve the scene? Is it simply their job to play the best way they can, Naniwa style, or do they have a responsibility to entertain as well, in your opinion?
I definitely think, sure, playing well is obviously important, but I think entertainment is another thing. I think every, professional players getting fan bases, getting popular, getting, being that entertainment for people also brings them in, because it's like, it's my girlfriend actually was talking about this. We were actually having a conversation about this, how, girls don't care about who really wins or loses unless they're just like the fangirl. The way they get interested in stuff is like the story of the player, right? And all that comes not from them winning a big title, but it's like they, she was saying that because she's actually a big football fan, So
right.
yes, I do have a perfect girlfriend. She loves football. She's into esports now, and she's a straight A student in college. So I have it made later on in life. But she was saying, how a lot of girls get into football is by the backstory. Like, they follow a story of a player, and that connects with them, right? And I think it's the same with Brood War, or not Brood War, esports. How personalities and stuff can connect with people. And I think Day 9 actually does the best, probably, out of that, because so many people connect with him. Like, he can connect with so many different people just by his personality alone. And
I would agree with that.
So I definitely think that, yes, while performance and playing as far as a professional player, you obviously should be in good shape. You should be doing pretty good tournament results and everything like that. There still is another total side to it, which is the personality side and growing the scene as a whole.
When did you really notice that you had to make that switch from just playing well to actually having to be if you lose a match, you walk up the stage, you're dogged by people still wanting the signature. When did you really feel that switch was made?
All right, let's repeat that question.
So StarCraft 2 started taking off,
Right.
but there wasn't a ton of people following esports. There's people who moved over from Brood War. But when did you stop having to be just a player and become a personality?
Yeah, it actually just came out of nowhere. Like, in Brood War, we had our, like, 5 fans over there watching the tournament. But it was pretty much like the scene, the spectator scene was non-existent. So in StarCraft 2, it was so weird when we went to our very first event, and this was before the MLGs even kicked off. This was the Green Forest LAN Cafe tournament in California. The game wasn't released yet. We were in beta, and like I lost to, I think, Pain User in the tournament, and people asked for my autograph, and it was like, well, this is weird. It's like I've never done this before. So, and it's just something that kind of just kept growing, and now it's like, I go to an event and I'll sign 500 autographs, probably even more than that, and it's actually a great thing. Like, it shows how much esports is growing, not just from the player standpoint, where yes, there's a lot of tournaments, there's a lot more money to win, there's a lot more sponsorships to get, but also from the spectator view, where it's like, wow, look at what esports is actually turning into. So it's actually an amazing thing to watch unfold day by day.
Awesome. Will you be casting the NASL Season 2 finals this weekend?
Negative. I will not. Day 9 will actually be casting that. So people out there, rejoice. Go post it on Reddit. Upvote it a bajillion times.
Karma for Day 9 love.
Yeah.
And then finally, Tiscarex's last question, and I believe the last one from... Wait, no, one more. He says, what are you looking forward to the most? Just in general for upcoming tournaments or...
Probably just the new, now we're kind of in the downtime. Like, the big foreigner tournaments, MLGs are done, Dreamhacks are done. So now we're kind of in the off season, I guess you could say. So I'm looking forward to the new season. Like, I'm looking forward to practicing a lot during this time and really taking advantage of all the people who is going to get new games like Skyrim for Christmas and go play that for 900 hours. And those 900 hours I'm just going to add onto my StarCraft 2 belt and level myself up in the RL. So
nice.
So I'm really looking forward to the new season and just what is in store for me in 2012.
Very cool. Well, that does it for listener questions.
No, we still have lots of strategy questions that have come in for you, for people who want to pick your brain that way.
Right.
First one is, what's your thoughts on the Zerg being mostly a reactionary race opposed to others?
It absolutely is a reactionary race. There's no real questioning it, but I think I like that. Actually, I mean, you could say where it's like, oh well, it's not fair because we have to decide whether we can make drones or army at this point in the time. But I think that's where the Zerg comes in. If it was any different, it would be way too overpowered. Being able to decipher and read what's going on in the game is what makes a good Zerg player. So I actually like the way Zerg is played. It's the same way it was in Brood War, which allows us to not only decide when to reactionary as far as drone to army transition, but also when to tech switch, right? So because all our buildings can produce the same units, we can build mutas from hatcheries, hydras from hatcheries. Every unit comes from the same place. And so I think that's a great part, too, which allows us to continue to be reactionary and get the advantage no matter what, or try to get the advantage.
Are you excited about the upcoming Heart of the Swarm, or
yes!
Are you worried? Are you worried about the whole metagame switch that's going to happen with it?
I love metagame switches. Actually, metagame switches is when I actually shine the most. Back even in StarCraft 2, in the beta, I've come up with some strategies that I would say broke the game, like including the 5-Rax Reaper. Probably everybody who played the beta has heard of or known about. I'm sure Idra still has a wound or scar on his back where Moro did it to him, like every game in the finals of, I think like IEM Germany or something like that. But so because there's so many new units involved and so many metagame switches, I think creativity is going to come out again. It's definitely going to come out with every expansion that comes out in the game. So I'm really looking forward to it myself and all the new types of styles and play styles that come out of it. It's going to be awesome.
What would you say you're looking forward to most, at least with the units?
I think it's called the Scorpion, is what I believe it's called. It's the flying Zerg unit. You can build it from lair.
The Viper with the
Viper. Okay,
with the
I was
extended
close.
tongue.
Oh,
grabby
see, that's
thing.
how I called it the Scorpion because it
has the
freaking
scorpion
like
tail.
get over here. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Right.
That's what
So that's
I'll
how
be
I got
calling
the Scorpion from. Sorry, Viper. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. Being able to turn every siege tank into a melee unit. Yep, that's gonna be good.
I'm not looking forward to that so much, guys. Got the 2 Zergs in the show. They're quite happy. I'm a little afraid. What was your favorite balance change after this? You know, it's been a year and a half now of Wings of Liberty. What has been your favorite balance change?
It has to be when they nerfed the warp gate, because when it first started, their whole goal was to build one pylon in your base. Even if you saw it, they just kept running around building pylons, and you really couldn't stop a 4 gate from just warping in at like the 5-minute mark. So that was definitely the best change that they made, and probably nerfing the 5-Rex Reaper is probably the next best, because, of course, I think they overdid it. I would say they practically removed Reapers from the game now, because does anyone see a Speed Reaper now? Does anyone see those come into play anymore? Not really.
They're very viable in team games.
Well, okay. No one plays those, Garrett. No one.
Those aren't serious.
No, not serious business.
Oop. I think he muted on us.
I think so.
Oh, well, I could take it here. How do you handle frustrating losses on the ladder?
You just cry yourself to sleep every night, but it's fine. You'll get over it eventually. No, how do you handle frustrating losses on the ladder? I really think the only way to do it is actually turn it to where you look at it towards it's a learning thing. Like every loss you do, try to learn something from it, and then it'll help you to overcome the discouragement from like, well, I lost 5 games today. It's like it was a terrible day of StarCraft 2 laddering for me.
Now, I'm not trying to, of course, pull any EG secrets, but do you have like a journal or anything like this that kind of helps you wind down? Or some people use spreadsheets and all sorts of other math to make them reason with the game.
No, I'm from the South. We don't believe in education. No, just kidding. No, I don't use any kind of special secret or anything like that. It's pretty much just like a mindset that you have to kind of train yourself, especially if you want to be a pro gamer or you already are, to where you just have to get over losses. You have to not let them affect you. You have to take from losses, especially if it's like ladder or something like, to me, ladder is not even important. Like, I play ladder solely for trying to learn something, trying to improve on something, not necessarily to win. So those are my 2 cents of information on that.
I think that's valuable. Garrett, are you back with sound?
I believe I am.
Excellent.
I don't know what's
Take
going on.
the next one away.
I can't give my internet any more money. It should be working. If you could have a signature move or a sort of unique build or style, what would it be?
A signature move? Well, I think my signature move was the 5-Rex Reaper, and then it turned into when I was Terran, of course, then it turned into this. I was the first ever player that really utilized a mech build versus Protoss. To where you would have like 1 racks, 3 factories, you'd hit at the 9-minute mark. I actually created a whole video for IGN, actually. They flew me out to California. I created a tutorial video on the build and stuff. So everyone can go Google that and check that out. But that would have been my signature move back then. Now as Zerg, I really don't have a signature move, I would say. But I know it's coming in Heart of the Swarm, and I just can't wait for it. It's going to be amazing.
Were we just going to call it the LZ Scorpion drop?
No, they fly. I don't have to drop. I'll just pull their army to me.
Oh, there you go. The siege tank drop.
Yeah.
The siege tank pull. There.
It's actually like the mindset of that unit is just so ridiculous, because I can pull Colossus to me, right? So when they make their force fields to block my army off, and I pull the Colossus to my army, it's going to break the force fields they just laid.
Oh,
so it's a double
glorious. It's a double win.
Are you bringing the Colossus in the melee range, but you're breaking the wall they just?
But
made.
I'm breaking the wall, right? It's going to be awesome.
That's absurd.
I mean, every race has imbalanced stuff from what they said. Like Heart of the Swarm, they were just like they'd be like, look at the the Tempest, like 3 of them like destroyed like 900 mutas or something ridiculous. But or the what's the Terran one? What was that? It was
The
like
Shredder.
The Shredder. Yeah, okay.
I can't wait for
that's
that
the
thing.
stupidest thing I've ever seen. So, but I'm just relying on that getting nerfed. Okay.
I just
Yeah.
remember them showing the Tempest at BlizzCon and them being like, "Now everyone, this is a little overpowered," and then like 30 mutas just dead in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
We and of course we had a row of Zerg fanboys right behind Kyle and I at BlizzCon, and they're just like, oh my god, oh, this is so broken, Imba. They're blowing their Imba horn. So
It's okay.
what was that?
I said it's okay. I was too. I think every Zerg was like, oh, that's stupid. But then it's like we hear like, oh, Banelings can move while burrowed, and we're like, well, that sounds good. That sounds right.
Yeah, that's decent. Yeah, this is great.
And then we hear like the weirdest upgrade ever. It's like Hydras will have a speed upgrade at the Hive Tech, and I'm just like, wait, who's gonna build Hydras at Hive Tech? You know? Like,
Well, now you will, or we'll patch it. One of the two.
yeah, exactly.
Did you get a chance to try out the new units at BlizzCon?
I actually was not at BlizzCon, so I have not tried out the new units, but I have watched literally every video on it I could find. So I'm pretty excited about it. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to when it releases.
Sweet. Do you still play games for the fun of it? And if so, how does practice differ from playing for your own amusement?
Okay, do I play StarCraft for my own fun of it, or do I play any game?
Why not both?
Okay. Yes, I play other games for fun. I'm just a big gamer at heart. Like, I love games. I love RPGs to all the way to MMOs. I remember when, in StarCraft Brood War, there was a little downtime after a WCG or something, so I just played WoW for, got a level 80 character in a couple of months, and then I quit the game, of course. But I've just always been a gamer. I love all kinds of games. I'm sure I'll be playing Skyrim and the new Zelda game when it comes out for the Wii. Which actually I think it actually is already out, so I take that back.
My old roommate called me a few days ago. He's like, I beat it. It's amazing. You need to play it. I was just like, I don't have a Wii.
So yes, I still play games, and I even play StarCraft. Like, StarCraft is fun to me still. Like, it's as I said, StarCraft can be frustrating. Probably the most frustrating game. Probably because I take it serious. I think any game you take serious is frustrating. If you play League of Legends and you're like in a 5-man team and you're taking it serious and you all get destroyed, obviously you're going to be like pissed off or something, and you're like, oh, But that's kind of how it is with StarCraft and with me. Yes, I still have fun with the game. I love it. It does feel like work sometimes, to where it's like I don't feel like playing another 4 hours, but I'm going to do it anyways. So it's kind of like I just push myself. But I still enjoy it while I do it.
Cool. Is there like a point where you're just like, okay, it's time to play StarCraft, just fun games, and how does that differ? Do you just like, oh, I'm going to go into 2v2 and just wreck somebody?
Yeah, I mean, those happen, of course. Yeah. It's mostly just like a lot of times when my brain gets tired after playing for so long, right? And then it's just like, okay, I just need to unwind. I just got let's go play stuff for fun. So I'll turn on my stream and play viewers of the stream. It's like the games don't matter. I'm playing Protoss. I'm cannon rushing everybody to get back for all the people that's cannon rushed me today and made my life hell. So
Nice.
So yeah.
Final question: with the limited information released, have you considered making a race swap in Heart of the Swarm?
No, race swap is never in my future again. It was harder than I thought it would be to just switch races after a gear. It was like, wow, I have no idea what I'm doing. Obviously I started in Masters still, but it was really difficult. It was like my win to loss ratio was terrible. I would be like, how did I lose that? It's like, oh wow, this unit's overpowered. I'd always be making ridiculous claims or statements. So it's definitely been something that it's kind of been a progression, but I would never switch again. Like, the only way I would ever switch races is if they incorporated something to where you could pick a matchup, so I could be a matchup user again. I might do that to where I could play Terran versus Zerg, and then Zerg versus the other two. Zerg versus Protoss Terran. So that way I wouldn't have to play a Zerg versus Zerg, which I've just never been a fan of mirror matchups in StarCraft 1, StarCraft 2. Like, I don't like it. I like having either an advantage or a disadvantage when it comes to a matchup, not playing with the same tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about every Zerg is with you in that boat.
Right, definitely.
God. Well, very cool. Well, that does it for our interview with EG.LzGaMeR. Let's move on to Ion Esports and talk a little DreamHack.
From StarCast, this is Ion Esports.
Okay, before we get in and talk about our match of the week this week, everyone, full disclosure, how many were you two as busy with family crap as I was and missed almost all of DreamHack?
I missed it all. Like, I saw, I just clicked the spoilers to everything to see who was winning everything, but I missed, every game.
Yeah, I was following most of it when I could on my cell phone with freaking Twitter, and at most times, my girlfriend and my family were like, hey, family time.
There was about halfway through the Enrique Iglesias song in the middle of the halftime, whatever football was going on. And I was like, hey, guys, how about some DreamHack? Shot down.
Ooh. I saw that because I was wherever we were eating, because I went and left town, so we ended up having Thanksgiving at a restaurant. They were playing football, and it was like, ooh, God, Enrique Iglesias. When was the last time he was relevant? So, well, very cool. Yeah. So the DreamHack Winter 2011 finals were this past week, and a horrendously inopportune time for most Americans, but holy crap, the venue! I couldn't get over the pictures I was seeing. Are we having stream issues? I think we just lost Jacob.
I think we did. And I've got some words at the bottom of a picture there. Oh, no, it's gone now. That's cool.
Stop for a moment.
If you have any windows to close, you are coming in a bit laggy.
I got nothing, man.
Oh, well, now you're back, so. Oh, no, now there you go. Oh, am I alone?
Now you're not.
Okay.
I was just restarting everything while we wait for LZ, because, I don't know, I gotta contact my IP or something, because this is... I'm on a completely different computer. I don't know why I'm still dropping.
Well, if for some reason we lost him for good, we can always edit in that we thanked him and grab a thank you from him. It's good. No, I will take this moment right now to say there will not be pony questions posed at EG.LzGaMeR.
As a matter of fact, the next person who puts ponies gets banned.
Wow, that's serious.
That's at you, Gilligan. That's how much I hate ponies. I don't care if I met you at BlizzCon. I hate ponies.
All right, well. Oh, here we go. Tech is coming in. Okay, well, let us go on then.
Yeah, we have unfortunately lost EG.LzGaMeR for the time being, but I guess let's talk about DreamHack. As I was saying before we were interrupted by poor internet.
Well, I guess let's assume he's not going to come back, and we'll just record this as though we thanked him there and moved on. Right.
What ifs. So, match of the week, DreamHack Winter 2011 finals. As I mentioned, I missed a good deal thanks to Thanksgiving, but I did get, thank God for Twitter. That's all I have to say for most of this is thank God for Twitter. I wouldn't have had a damn clue who was winning and what was going on. After the fact, I immediately ran to Reddit and looked at tons of pictures. Oh my God, Kyle, this venue was amazing.
They had everyone there, and it was cool to see everyone.
Yes, it was. We need this. We really need this. It's absurd. I also read a Kotaku article. I really wish I had grabbed the link. I wish I had grabbed the link for this show because it was covering all of DreamHack, not just the StarCraft thing, and it had a lot of pictures from just the ground floor, just the big LAN party that was going on at DreamHack, with just your average Joes like you and I. Hey, let's go play at this giant freaking LAN party, and it's like showing pictures of people like asleep under their computer station, and it was absurd.
Well, and it took place at, I'm probably going to butcher this here, but in Sweden, the Kinnarps Arena, which is a hockey arena, that they cut off basically half of it and put the big stage up there. And it was perfect. I mean, sometimes when they pan across, you'd be starting on the left side anyway. You'd be like, oh, this thing's half empty. Oh, no, those are just the bad seats. The rest is packed.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. What was the venue? Wasn't it like some kind of ice rink or something?
That's what I just said.
Oh, did you? I missed the ice rink thing. Oh my God.
No problem. No, it was the Kinnarps Arena, an ice hockey place in Sweden.
You know what it is to all hopeful podcasters out there? Don't read the podcast chat while your co-host is talking, because you will miss something important, and you will repeat it, and he will say, "You're an ass, sir. You are an ass."
You know, it sounds better coming from you.
Well, I was going to say that, but I figured you would just think I was.
Well, let's not be humble about this.
All right. So, Kyle, were you the one kind enough to do the conversion on the prize pool?
Oh, it was done for me by the website, but there was $29,000 on the line for this game.
Awesome. Very sweet. Did it by any chance say what the runner-up received?
Oh, I'm sure it did. I don't remember, though. We're going to be talking about the finals here, so that's what was on the line here at the end for the finals.
Yeah. All right, very cool. And the finals were, of course, between Liquid Hero, who plays Protoss, versus EGPuMa, who plays Terran. Why can't LZ be here so I can be like, what's Puma like? Blah, 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 blah. But, oh well.
The internet.
Yes, the internet. The internet is a damned something. So, game 1 took place on Metalopolis, with Puma going 4 barracks into Expand, and Hero went 2 Gateway Robotics Facility. Hero managed to kill off a few Marines with some excellent Stalker micro, but Puma answered by making a strong push for Hero's main with concussive shells finish.
All right, Garrett. Looks like we have another audio drop from you. And he's restarting, probably for the luck of all of us, because I'm sure a blob of expletives is erupting from his mouth. So, how's everyone in the chat doing tonight? Ooh, wow. This is the most people we've ever had in this chat. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, new people. Quite a few names I've seen here before. Psionic Boss, Cosmo Starcraft. Details. I think you're new here, maybe. Maybe I haven't seen you before. Quasar, of course, met you at MLG. Good to see you again. Gilligan, met you at BlizzCon. Wonderful. Sundance Kid, I thought you were going to change that to Sun King. Why haven't you changed that yet? Aw, thank you for the hearts. And the robot faces. Is there a way to change what? There's people who have like their actual face as their faces. And that's what I want. Only your SC2 tag. Yeah. I think it's still $20 to change that thing. Well, we can still keep playing. I mean, hey, if Garrett's not going to come back, why don't we just play the first match until he comes back? People could check that out. Sweet. Well, we're going to go ahead and roll the first match of Dreamhack, and it's a doozy. This thing goes the best of 7. I'm just going to say that right now.
And when we have that up there, I will introduce the players and their starting location. So over here in the south, with incredibly creative style, he may have his big moment here in RTS Esports, winning not just any tournament, but the Dreamhack 2011. Make some noise for Hero! His opponent, also Korean, from the team Evil Geniuses, a Terran known for either intense macro, in other words, economic style, or very aggressive all-ins. Give it up for Puma.
Wow, this crowd tasteless. If anyone thinks this isn't a sport, you can just tell them they're stupid. Artosa said so.
This is so exciting to see these two guys.
Oh, Garrett's back.
Am I back?
Yes. And we
All
would
right.
play it all for you, but we're in a bit of a hurry tonight because Garrett's got to get himself over to the new instance show for the Old Republic. That's so awesome.
Way to go, Kyle. You spoiled my surprise.
Well, it's not a surprise. Well, you could mention it at the end of the show. We'll edit this there and put it there, and then we'll edit this out of me saying it.
No, we just leave this all in. It's more fun this way. I literally just went outside and raged. I raged at my modem. I literally beat the shit out of it, unplugged it, plugged it back in, threw it back on the desk, and kicked it.
But sadly, it is an inanimate object, so it stared at you like a sad dog.
Yes, it did, but I feel so much better. I didn't learn a thing from LZGaMeR. I will get mad when I lose, especially to inanimate objects.
Oh.
So, feels good to rage. Feels good. This rage moment brought to you by Verizon Fios. Screw you. Where were we?
You had gone silent at the beginning of the Dreamhack rundown.
Okay, so game 1 took place on Metalopolis. Puma was going 4 barracks into Expand, and Hero went to Gateway Robotics Facility. Hero managed to kill off a few Marines with some excellent Stalker Myco, but Puma answered by making a strong push for Hero's main, but concussive shells finished. With the help of some nice scans, Puma killed off a lot of Hero's forces, including one Immortal. It looked like Puma would kill off Hero's expansion, but one heroic Colossi managed to kill off a ton of Marines and break the contain. Hero then made a strong push for Puma's main, but thanks to a very nice sandwich, Puma killed off Hero's army and pushed back Hero, killing off his expansion and forcing the GG.
Now, this sandwich makes it sound like it was intentional. It was, in fact, just the conga line of the Terran moving across the map, and it happened to be in the right place at the right time.
You see, I thought it was an Italian.
Oh, I had an Italian sandwich. I see what you
Yeah, well, there it is. I had Jimmy John's for dinner. It was delicious.
Waka Waka.
Game 2 was played on Daybreak. Both players went for a fast expansion. Hero managed to send in some zealots after Puma took down the destructible rocks to take control of a Zelnaga tower and killed off Puma's expansion, containing Puma and doing tons of damage. Puma then decided that he couldn't win unless he did an all-in, pulled all his SCVs, and moved out when Stim finished. However, as Puma's SCVs neared Hero's expansion, Hero laid down some huge force fields, cutting off nearly all of the SCVs. Now we're tied 1-1. Game 3 was played on GSL Dual Site, a map where Puma did a very successful 1-1-1 against Night End. Puma managed to wall off his base just as Hero's probe came up to it. Puma did the 1 barracks, 1 factory, and 1 starport, also known as the 1-1-1, but Hero built a Phoenix to counter it. However, the Banshee snuck past the Phoenix, who proceeded to lift up mules as Puma called them down. But another Phoenix just finished warping in as the Banshee came up to Hero's base, as well as the detection available to kill it off after it cloaked. After that, Hero managed to destroy a supply depot at Puma's base walled in, and moved into the main of Puma, and then proceeded to win the game, with bringing it to 2-1 Hero. Game 4, Hero and Puma spawned cross-map on Tal'Darim Altar, with Puma expanding quickly behind a bunker. Hero scouted this out and went for some 3-gate pressure. He used the Stalker to get vision of the high ground to warp in some zealots, and with the help of those, dealing lots of damage to Puma's expansion. Puma was forced to lift off his command center and eventually managed to stop Hero's push. However, he was very behind on the worker front and needed to even things out badly soon. Puma then attempted to attack Hero's expansion, but Hero easily repelled it with the help of some force fields. When Hero did the counter push, Puma couldn't hold him back and lost game 4, and now the standings are 3-1 in the favor of Hero. So
yeah, this was interesting. So we were now pretty deep into these games, yet Puma would not stop walling off. And it's not essential versus Protoss, but he did it anyway.
Yeah, I finally got around to watching these games on my lunch break at work over the last couple of days, and I was raging in again, Garrett raging. This is just the week of Garrett rage. Just sitting in my chair, just like, stop it, stop falling off.
And it was the thing killing him too, like losing those depots, getting supply blocked. The Stalker range has never been more noticeable in any game before this one.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand why he did it there, as the casting archon brought up. You know, it a lot of times you can hide what you're doing. You can go no gas and expand real quick, or you can do the 1-1-1 and get a quick banshee out. But to just do it over and over again after it's failing, I don't understand why. I really don't. I mean, what do you think? Do you think he was just unnerved? I mean, it's the finals. Think, oh, God, what do I do? I'm just going to stay with what I'm comfortable with?
That has to be. I mean, nothing's worse than losing to a dumb proxy.
Yeah. Especially in a tournament.
Yes. The final of a tournament, no less. No, he was going solid. He wanted the money. He wanted to win.
Yeah. The game was played on Shakura's Plateau. The players... Well, this is Game 5 now. This game was played on Shakura's Plateau. Both players spawned on the bottom half of the map, with Puma walling in to expand fast once again. Hero went for a fast expansion of his own. Hero managed to sneak past Puma's initial marine and spotted the expansion. Seeing this, he decided to go for one gateway and a quick robotics facility, while Puma went 3 barracks, 2 with tech labs and 1 with a reactor. Puma then built a ghost academy, but Hero scouted it with an observer and responded by putting down a robotics bay. Puma made his way to Hero's expansion, but after seeing Hero's spread, he decided to pull back. As the Thermal Lance upgrade finished, Hero decided to move out and attacked Puma's natural, but Puma flanked his army. I lost my place. There's a lot of chatter going on in Skype, and usually that means I'm dropping.
I see what you're saying. No, you were doing great. It was going just fine.
Here it is. However, Hero warped in an additional round of Zealots and pushed Puma back to his main. Puma managed to kill off the Zealots here. Noticing that Puma had Vikings out, Hero decided to stop building Colossus and focus on Immortals. Puma then pushed out for Hero's third and managed to reach it just as Hero did a probe transfer, and as Hero's army arrived there, he did another sandwich killing it off. Hero then sent out some Dark Templars, with one of them disturbing Puma's mining at his third. Hero
that's the right word for it, is disturbing or slightly haggering. This was a desperate move.
Yeah, it really was. This was like the Hail Mary play, just like, oh crap, this is all I've got left. I'm all in. Hero then managed to build his army up again and attacked Puma and killed off a lot of units. However, Puma came out on top and kept pushing for Hero's third, forcing Hero to surrender. And after this awesome game, it was 3-2. Advantage still to Hero. Game 6 happened. The two faced off once again on Terminus SE, or RE. Isn't it Terminus RE? I don't know. The biggest map in the professional StarCraft 2 scene. Hero expanded quick once again, but Puma, spotting this, placed 4 barracks down instead of building a command center and expanding. Hero built 3 more gateways, but they couldn't finish on time, and Hero lost his base as well as the game, and went to number 7, tied up. This was a hell of a comeback from Puma. This must have been what he was trying to do the previous 2 games.
Yes, the whole time I think he was trying to win.
He was trying to win, yes. Finally, Game 7, the last game, deciding who would win the Dreamhack 2011 Winter Tournament. So this was played on Antigua's shipyard. The players spawned across the map, and both players, maybe a bit wary of early pushes since games before, didn't expand especially fast. Puma walled himself in once again and expanded behind that, just as the Metalopolis game. Hero placed down an expansion himself and went for 3 gateways and a robotics facility. Puma scattered out the 3 gateways, but not the robo. He then placed down 2 forges to get some early upgrades. Hero then placed down a photon cannon after seeing some ghosts from Puma, just to be certain. When Puma pushed out against Hero's third, Hero managed to trap Puma's ghosts, and although losing the expansion, he killed off a lot of Puma's army and catching some of the medevacs in a trap as they retreated to the main of Puma. Hero then attacked Puma's planetary fortress with the help of some force fields, but Puma managed to shoot some very nice EMPs on the High Templar, as well as sniping some of them as they were attempting to morph into Archons. Puma then did a drop on Hero's fourth, but that did very little damage. Hero then attacked Puma's expansion at the middle of the map, taking it out, and went after the planetary fortress at Puma's third, killing it off, setting Puma back 2 bases, or sending him back to 2 bases, with only one of them mining. He then proceeded to build 3 Nexi near Puma's main ramp, perhaps as payback for the mule Puma called down at the end of the first game to show his dominance. After this, Puma couldn't hold it any longer and called the GG. Sniping.
Yes. Three Nexuses will do that.
Yes, it will. Jeez.
Yeah, Hero dominated this last game. He owned the entire map, had High Templars, some of the most expensive units, high-tech units, just hanging out places, waiting as though they were overlords to see a drop come by and just shoot it down with a feedback.
Yeah, I was really mad that I couldn't watch these live. This was a really good finals, in my opinion. I really like Puma. I was kind of rooting for him, but nonetheless, great play by both of them. Even though Puma just wouldn't stop walling.
The venue was wonderful. They had all the casters that were there. I mean, granted, there were times, of course, where there were multiple games going on. You need multiple casting teams to take care of all these games at once, and they kept him around. They put the casting Archon on the main stage, front and center, and then had an auxiliary couch of basically the peanut gallery hanging out and giving comments after it was over. It was very well put together.
Yeah, I wanted to be on that couch.
Yes, that was the cool guy couch.
Yeah, it was very cool. Just kick back, relax, pop a beer.
Or the old boys couch, as Disco referred to it earlier.
Yeah. They should have just been sitting there with a 6-pack to the right of them. It would have been fantastic. So, well, that was the Dreamhack Finals. If you haven't watched them, you can watch them for free, so you should. You owe it to yourself to watch these.
You do. We ruined nothing.
Nothing except Puma balls a lot. That's pretty much all we ruined for you.
Yeah, and Hero won, but come on. It was still very cool to see the story of it.
Yeah, very, very close. It was really looking like Puma was going to come back there for a while. So, well, very, very cool. It is now time for emails.
Incoming transmission.
Patching you through. The Yamato is loaded, and so am I.
Time for everybody's not favorite part of our show, wacky emails. I don't know. It's my favorite. I really like it. We get to
not favorite?
Not favorite? I don't know, because it's really off topic. I like it, though. I get to tell everyone what my favorite sandwich is.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta love emails.
King Octavius is back this week, and he is, he wants to tell you about some sci-fi in his StarCraft.
Hi StarCast, this is King Octavius with an edition of science fiction in my StarCraft that I believe numbers the 19th of all science fiction in my StarCrafts. This week, we're going to talk about the medic. Not the medevac, the straight-up walk around on the ground, look all pretty, say suggestive things every now and then, heal you up close and personal medic chick from the campaign. If you click enough on your personal battlefield nurse, one of the things she'll say is,
"Damn it, I'm a medic, not a doctor."
This line, you may know, is a riff on a line frequently spoken by character Leonard Bones McCoy on the original Star Trek series. One of the things this curmudgeonly character came to be known for over the course of the show was exclaiming things like, "I'm a doctor, not a..." insert profession here.
What am I, a doctor or a moon shuttle conductor? I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer.
I'm a surgeon, not a psychiatrist.
Look, I'm a doctor, not an escalator.
I'm a doctor, not an engineer.
Thanks to YouTube user BirdMad for that audio montage. I'm King Octavius, this has been SF in my SC, and you'll have to excuse me now. I've got something I have to take care of.
Need some triage?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Oh, what an exit, King Octavius.
Now, I've never known you to be a Trekkie, Garrett. Have you seen the original Star Trek?
I have seen the first Star Trek movie in Fast Forward because even my super Trek fan, Hamilton, who was actually on the final campaign roundtable, even he thinks the first movie is boring, so he kind of just surmised it, and then we moved immediately on to Wrath of Khan. The original series, though, no. I've always seen clips, and it just looks too bad for me to appreciate.
Oh, it's bad, but I think you can find a little bit of, appreciation for it. If anything, sit down and watch yourself Trouble with Tribbles.
Trouble with Tribbles?
Yes, it's one of the episodes where they find fluffy little animals that replicate endlessly. Rather hilarious.
All right. Sounds terrible.
It is.
Sandman is back this week with Modspot. Roll it.
Hey StarCast, Sandman here with the Modspot episode 17. I'm sure you both look lovely right now, so, ooh, look at that moonlight glinting off of your something. Anyway, let's do this. The mod that we'll be examining today is called Hatcheroroi by Osak. No, I did not suddenly develop a stutter. That is actually the name. Hatcheroroi space DESTRORY. Yes, this is in fact a very strange game. As the title may suggest, this game is in fact about destroying hatcheries, or namely, hatchery, as there's only one on each team. Hatcheroroi is a game of counters. The map is divided into two sections, top and bottom. The top plays host to practically every single unit type in the game, plus Zerglings that are controlled by players. The players run the Zergling to a circle that is in front of the unit type and are given a squad of that unit type on the bottom half of the map. The bottom section of the map is, as most Zizlak of The Simpsons would say, where the action is. The bottom is a mirrored, creep-covered strip with the 10,000-point hatchery and 2 Zelnaga towers at each end. Players must maneuver their squad toward the opposing side and inflict damage on the hatchery while simultaneously holding off enemy players. This is more difficult than it sounds, however, because the further you get into enemy territory, the easier it is for enemies to spawn hard counter squads directly on top of your squad. However, you can't just go throwing your units away right and left, because the more units your enemy kills, the more points they get. The more points they get, the more Zerglings they get to put into units, and the greater their own unit diversity becomes. I only have 2 real issues with Hatcheroroi. One, there is a severe lack of directions at the beginning or any point in the game, which makes it difficult because some units are not available at the start, but there is no idea given as to when or how they will be unlocked. And secondly, it needs a better camera system, as you start out in a corner, and then it doesn't show you where you need to be on the map. Hatcheroroi gets a 3.5 out of 5. Until next time, this has been Sandman. Here's hoping I didn't put you to sleepy beep.
And that was Sandman with a stutter. Oh, Kyle, I think you're muted. I see you talking, but no words are coming
I'm muted
out.
because I was typing in the chat. My fault.
This is, I think, the most technologically challenged show we've done in a while.
I agree.
Yeah, but such is the growing pains of moving to a more video-oriented format.
Mm-hmm.
So we do very much appreciate everyone's patience. Please ignore the dust.
And enjoy the magic of editing.
Achilles called in this week, and he wants to give us a Team CVO update. Right before we roll that, though, just wanted to say, I got to meet Achilles right before I left for Thanksgiving, and he is a cool dude.
Yes, I heard you had a sandwich with him.
Yes, we sat down at Panera right near my work. I guess he has family in Sarasota where I live. And he just contacted me. He's like, "Hey, Garrett, come down for Thanksgiving. We should meet up." I said, Sure, that sounds great." And I immediately assume everyone that's under the age of, 21 will just annoy the hell out of me. But no, Achilles was awesome. I had a great time. And I'm kidding to all you under 21-year-olds.
No, he's not.
Roll the Team CVO update.
I'm Achilles, General Manager of the competitive StarCraft 2 team of the StarCast community, Verta Supremo. This is the CVO update. I would like to begin by thanking the many people who assisted the team with our goal to send a player to MLG. CVO was able to send Dirtmaker to MLG, where he went 1-2 in the open bracket. While we would have liked for him to win the whole tournament, we are proud of him for his performance. The following people assisted the team by donating money to fund the trip: Octane Pro, King Octavious, Grawl, Giggle Punch, Masked Tusk, Kashi, Rakoska, and many others. Special thanks to Peasant Dave, who donated absurd amounts of money, truly enabling this trip. Next, I would like to recognize the team for their outstanding performance in the clan war against Team Air this past weekend. CVO lost 2-3 in an epic series, with the match coming down to the final game of the ace match. Shoutouts to CVO Mork, CVO Ramlide, CVO Naruto, and CVO Psych, all who performed at incredible levels of play. Thank you to everyone who watched us play on stream. It means a lot to us to have your support. Next, Following the preview from the strangely accented hipster in this community news segment, I would like to officially announce that CVO will be holding open tryouts for team membership. As a member of the team, you will practice alongside some of the best of the amateur server players on the North American server, be able to play StarCraft competitively in clan wars and tournaments, and be a part of a training ground to help ready players with professional ambitions. The tryouts will take place in 3 phases. By midnight Thursday, an application form will be available from the StarCast forums at thestarcast.com. After filling that out, we will select a pool of potential candidates. If you are not a Diamond or Masters player, or do not have access to a North American Battle.net account, you need not apply. The second phase will consist of playing games against some members of CVO's roster. All those replays shall be examined, and those players we believe good enough to belong to the team shall be moved to the third and final stage of tryouts. These players will practice with the team for a month in order to show their dedication to the team. If we have determined that the player is not only a solid competitor, but is also dedicated to getting better and the team, we shall add them as a member of CVO. Looking ahead, CVO has 2 clan wars this weekend. One against Clandroid Gaming, a team that CVO has already beaten in the past. This rematch shall be taking place on Saturday, December 3rd. The other clan war shall be taking place against the Appalachian State CSL team. That match will be played on Sunday, December 4th. Game start times will be released onto the forums in the coming days. Please tune in to twitch.tv/TeamCVO in order to support your team. I'm Achilles. This has been the CVO Update.
Well, very cool. I'm glad somebody got a list of everyone who donated to help send Dirt McGirt to MLG.
Yeah, that was awesome that we got to put that together for the team. I'm really excited that our team is going up against some college teams as well.
Yeah, that's very, very, very freaking cool. Just awesome. We should get like collegiate apparel, but make it for StarCast.
That'd be
StarCast,
awesome.
But in the college writing, like the stencil writing, be fantastic.
Well, the CVO would look good in that blocky fraternity letters.
Yeah, there you go. That would be badass. So that's very cool. And just a big thank you to the community in general, because the reason you and I, Kyle and I, didn't have a list of the people who donated is because we didn't really take the donations and set the whole thing up. That was the community at large that kind of, it's evolved into its own monster. So it's very cool. We thank you guys so much for making that happen.
And the teams itself all the members who have put there, I'm very excited to see what happens with these new tryouts going on, and we get some new members. Sadly, we will probably lose some old members, but, it is competitive, and that's what's going to make it great.
Yeah, it's not FVO for friendly Virtus Supremo.
Oh, they're friendly. They're nice guys.
They are friendly, but
you'll find Buddha giggling in chat every night about his drunk craft.
No, you'll find him randomly popping up at BlizzCon even though he didn't have a pass. That's where you'll find Buddha. So, anyways, we got a call in this week from Staff Sergeant John III, who has called in before. So let's hear what he has to say.
Hey, StarCast, Staff Sergeant John V again. I just want to let you know.
The 5th.
I'm up here in Alaska. I moved up here, and I go on drives at night to kind of chill out. I was listening to your podcast, and a biscuit ran a red light, and I kid you not, inches away from T-boning my brand new 2011 Kia Sportage. And I just want to let you know, as my light flashed before my eyes, the only thing I could think about was my family would be standing over my casket. Like, what was he doing in his last words, in his last moment? He was listening to a StarCraft podcast. Poor bastard. I thought I'd let you know. Love you guys. Take care.
That is awesome. That's how I want to die.
I'm always so afraid of those sort of things. Like, I'll go out drinking or something. I'll just have a little bit of alcohol in my blood. And I'll cross the street, get hit by a car, and my poor mother is just going to throw, like, some sort of join mad. Like, Mothers Against Drunk Driving and all these, like, oh, alcohol killed my boy, and all these sorts of things. Just go nuts with it.
She's like, I had a beer. I had one beer.
I know. Destroyed his life. But also, I hope that they would also go through your StarCraft account, read his last game before he played. He lost to Zerg. It was very sad. He fast expanded too much. He bought Skyrim. He only played about 3 hours.
Yeah. If I died tomorrow, that would be my biggest regret. I only made it to level 10. I have had no time to play Skyrim. I've had no time to I've barely played StarCraft this week. I've been working on the show more than I have played StarCraft this week.
Man, I finally got to sit down and get some 1v1s going again. Very exciting to be back in there. Very nerve-wracking, of course. I have no idea what I'm doing against Zerg right now, but Protoss I figured out. They figured out to fast expand. I actually taught a guy how to fast expand this week. Hope I changed his life.
I hope you did too. That's awesome. Well, I want our lives changed, Kyle. I want a really fun segment. What segment could possibly be so fun that it would almost change my life? Oh wait, I know.
And now to Hipster with the community segment.
Hello, StarCast listeners. This is Hipster with the StarCast Community Report. This week in the forums, the colorblind took a stand and discussed the problems of not seeing the nuke red dot. The random memes and pics thread continues to flourish, now spanning over a dozen pages. The StarCast mass messaged Buddha's lady friend for her birthday on Buddha's petition. Support like this makes one proud to be a StarCaster. Hipster won the PMS H2O Platinum Tournament. Discorax starting an interesting discussion on map-dependent strategies, specifically Cell Naga Caverns. The strategy threads discuss stopping Protoss Cheese, ZVT Thor push, the Ice Fisher build, higher levels of macro precision, the potential overpoweredness of force fields, and improving play speed. The MLG replay pack has been released. Give some time and analyze pro play in higher detail. For more information, visit Reddit. There was a very big scandal on Destiny's stream because everyone ganged up on a person and heavily insulted her. TLO, Destiny, the mods, and many other people were negatively implicated. The event brought shame to many. View on Reddit at your own discretion. Now for the weather with Discorax.
Thanks, Hipster. This weekend we're going to see the end of what many have called El Año de Deportes, or the Year of Esports. It's been a crazy year, and this forecaster is exhausted from the sheer volume of awesome that El Año de Deportes has brought to our region. The low-pressure system known as Skyrim will bring in some much-needed dragons over the next few weeks. The forecast for Sunday is Barcraft, with a 100% chance of NASL and GSL. And that's the weather. Back to you, Hipster.
Thanks a lot, Disco. With that, we close the third edition of the StarCast Community Action News. And you stay cool, StarCraft. GameR and Kyle, back to you.
I got the sultry tones. I'm gonna give Kyle a run for his money.
That was delightful. Don't go after my jobs. Not Disco Rax. Or was that Disco Rax just on a bad connection?
It was Disco Rax on a bad connection trying to talk with sultry tones. But instead, yeah.
So, well, that was... There's so much happened in that segment. I feel like I was abused.
It was awesome. That was really good. Great job, guys. It's quickly becoming my favorite segment. I love it. It always makes me laugh, which is great.
And there is forecasted Barcraft this coming weekend because I'm going to be back at Chicago Craven Wings up on California Avenue to be seeing the NASL.
Oh, very cool. And I believe EG.LzGaMeR is back with us.
Oh, my.
I am. I don't know what happened. Skype decided it was going to go non-responsive, and then I had to do a update on it, and it looks the exact same, so...
Yeah. Fun. Very fun.
Well, welcome back.
Well, so what I miss?
We talked about Dreamhack. You missed that whole thing.
It's okay. I missed the event, so I missed the conversation about it too. Darn it!
I guess it kind of worked out then. And we're actually just about at the end of the show, but we definitely wanted to bring you back in, if for nothing else, so you can at least tell everyone where to find you. But we did have one last completely random email, and maybe it'll apply to you, maybe it won't. A listener, Corrupt Soul, wrote in, and he wrote off-topic email. He says, on the show, you guys were talking about your favorite animes. My favorite all-time is Bleach. What do you think of it? I'm going to shoot it to Kyle first, because I know he's like the anime expert.
Expert? Oh, no. I watched till, episode 100, and then it just started farting off, and the bad guys escaped for another season, and I'm done. Like, we've escaped from the shadow ninja world, and now we're back in the real world, but like now we're being invaded by some giggling girl who giggles way too much. I checked out.
Are you telling me animes go on for way too long and lose track of the whole storyline? I've never heard of this happening.
No, that's not a trend at all. Inuyasha, Gundam Wing, all these, yeah.
Very, very, very nice. So make sure you guys stick around after the outro music and all that jazz for Pat and Dan's MLG Providence interviews. And as always, we'd like to thank you guys who left us 5-star reviews in the iTunes store. Thank you very much to in the North American store. Thank you to Valentin Baca, Redix, Nady8721, Flyfishing21, and from the United Kingdom, thank you to Harry Dragon, which is so not Epic Sound.
But he's allowed to have it. UK, I picture a nice dragon with a big beard.
Yes, he is. We are just a little under time. Real quick, chat room. Any last minute questions for me, Kyle, or LZ before we leave you guys? And there's, of course, we will edit it out in the audio version because there's always a little lag between the stream and the chat room getting to us.
And of course, typing.
Yes, and typing.
Use that APM, people.
Pretend like you play StarCraft.
All right. Well, we have some wonderful questions coming in. First of all, what's next for you for pro playing, LZ?
What's next for me? I guess, I'm still going to compete in StarCraft 2, of course, so I'm not like switching games and certainly not races again. So I guess really I'm just looking forward to the new 2012 season and all the new circuits and stuff. And yeah, so a lot of big stuff on the horizon for me. Just wait until it gets here.
Nice. Duckboy asked, what kind of PC do you use?
I have a Intel i7 computer. Actually, I need to get a new video card since EG is not sponsored by somebody who makes video cards. We need to get on that, EG. And I have, of course, a Kingston memory. I'm actually not the biggest computer person. I'm just going to throw that out there. I play on my computer, and I know how to do that. But as far as it goes to like building computers and specs and stuff, I am not one of those people. I wouldn't know how to overclock something if somebody told me how to do it. They would literally have to show me. So,
I'm exactly the same way. That's why I love our sponsors because I can write them, and even though I don't have one of their computers, they're like, "Oh yeah, this is how you fix it." I'm like, "Oh,
exactly.
Thank you so much." So,
Sandman. It's always good to have like that uncle in the family that knows everything about computers. So it's like, hey, something's not working on mine. Can you come over and look at it? And he knows
right, particularly when it's one of those things that's been pissing you off all day, and then you can just let it go. It's their problem now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sandman asks, are ultras viable?
Ultras are great. Like, actually, I think one of the most underused things is ultras and queens together, where you can just non-stop transfuse them. Like, they can destroy any army, pretty much. They're really sick. But it's really hard to do because, of course, queens need to be built way before time, so they have lots of energy. And I'm talking about, like, 10 queens. Like, we have tons of transfuse.
Yeah, not to mention the speed difference.
It definitely can work, especially versus Protoss. It's actually a good ultra like attack where it's like hitting from a lot of different sides is actually one of the strongest types of late game army.
Awesome.
Also in ZVZ, ultras are amazing as well. Contrary to popular belief, ultras actually destroy Roach Hydra. So for cost, yeah.
Huck or Idra?
Oh man, this is a trick question, Frig.
Yeah, that's not a fair question.
It was a draw.
Yes, we wanted to see how diplomatic you could be.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to choose, I mean, I've been friends with Idra longer, so I'd go Idra.
Cool.
That's a good answer.
Cool. And the final question, Detail STV writes, what is your practice schedule like, and do you practice with specific people?
Usually I try to do the same routine that we did in the house. I mean, doing custom games for 4 hours a day and doing laddering for 4 hours a day is my favorite method. That way you get a very roundabout type of thing. So if I'm playing custom games with friends or practice partners, then I can work on specific stuff and specific matchups instead of just queuing up for a ladder game. It's like, well, what race matchup am I getting this time? Oh, I'm getting this on a broken map, right? So, and then on ladder you get to see a lot of different kinds of styles and cheeses and stuff that you might run across in a tournament, especially if you're playing in a MLG open bracket. Anybody knows that you're going to run across anything and everything in those kind of tournaments. So those kind of prep you for the stuff that you'll see in the real games. So that's my favorite method of doing. 8 hours a day, 4 hours ladder, 4 hours practice partners.
We'll spare you the extra questions of if you prefer boxers or briefs coming from the chat room, or why you so handsome.
Boxers. Why am I so handsome? Just born this way. My last name got Win built right in.
Nice. Well, very sweet. That is it for questions and for the episode. As always, if you want more StarCast, you can go to thestarcast.com to find links to, everything about our show, the official Twitter, Facebook, forums, and music, as well as donate to the show or sponsor an entire episode. We always appreciate the help from you guys. Check out our awesome community over at thestarcast.com/forum. You can also email the show at starcastshow@gmail.com or call the StarCast line at 941-882-0281. That's where we get all of our strategies and random emails to send your strats, questions, comments, and MP3 attachments that are under 90 seconds to starcastshow@gmail.com. Download StarCast Android app. You can follow the show at the StarCast. You can follow me at Garrett Art. Follow Kyle at Kyle Ferguson. Follow Team CVO on YouTube at youtube.com/Team CVO. And go check out the Instance, the Old Republic edition, because I'll be guesting on the first episode of it tonight, actually. I'll be running across the internet all the way to Utah to guest on that show right after this. LZ, anything you would like to promote, pimp, bump, whatever the cool kids are saying nowadays?
Absolutely. First off, really looking forward to the Old Republic game. That's actually the game I'm looking most forward to be honest. Besides Heart of the Swarm, so yeah, I'm kind of jealous that you're going to go on some show and talk about it or even hear new news that I haven't heard about. Other than that, I would like to thank all my sponsors. Hold on, let me do this the professional way. Intel, SteelSeries, Monster, Kingston HyperX, Beyond Gaming, and Intel Extreme Board, 6-Pool Gaming, and Bigfoot Network Cards. Boom! Nailed it.
Oh,
awesome.
So,
that's why they have
all of them, my teammates, my managers, my amazing girlfriend, my family for supporting me, everybody out there. Thanks, guys. Well, everybody follow me on Twitter at EG.LzGaMeR and check out my stream in the morning times or whenever I stream. And that would be Twitch TV / EGGamer TV. So, got it. Nailed that right there. Pretty proud of myself.
Well done. Oh, did we lose Garrett? I bet he's just saying, well, that is it. Thank you so much, LZ, for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Not a problem. My pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, everyone. Well, that was StarCast. Take care. All right, well, the stream is killed. I guess Garrett's killed as well. Thank you for coming back.
Hey, guys, it's Pat. This is Dan. And we went to MLG Providence. Thanks to StarCast, we were able to talk to many well-known people in the StarCraft community. And we found a few people that wanted to say hello.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Andre Greator Pengcho, and you're listening to StarCast.
This is Liquid Ginger, and you're listening to StarCast.
I am Liquid TO, and you're listening to StarCast.
I'm Nagu, listening to StarCast.
We talked to a few guys that answered a few questions.
This is Nick Randish, also known as EG.LzGaMeR, and you're listening to StarCast.
Oh, Oxlaw.
Yeah.
So where did the name come from?
It actually came from, I did wrestling in high school, and for 2 of the years, we had this coach who, for the former Soviet Union, who moved to America when the Soviet Union collapsed, and he kind of spoke Russian and English, but he mixed them, so he made up his own language. That was the words didn't even make any sense. And that was one of the words he said that no one actually, it's not a real word in either language, no one even knows what it means, but it's yeah, that's a cool sounding word, so I can use that as my nick.
There you go.
Yeah. There's a story behind it. Nice.
Yeah, it was actually really cool. So, do you live in the EG house?
Yes, I do, yeah.
So what's it like, I guess, bouncing around the house on a daily basis?
It's pretty fun. It's nice living with people who, you have common interests with. It's pretty cool. We have a pretty nice kitchen, so I like to cook some stuff, and especially now the weather is great. this is the time of the year when you want to be living in Phoenix in the winter. In the winter you can go out running, and other places people got put on their snowshoes.
Yeah, like
so it's pretty sick.
Like us guys from New York.
Yeah.
So where are you from? I mean, like before you were in the EG house, where did you live?
I spent the first half of my life in Cleveland, Ohio, and the second half in San Jose, California.
Okay.
And then I went to university in University of California, Santa Cruz.
Okay. So before I asked you what, I guess, if this is the best job you've ever had, you kind of like were a little...
This is definitely the most fun job I've ever had. I mean, I love playing StarCraft, so to be able to do that is just amazing.
When did your StarCraft career start?
Basically, as soon as SC2 came out, EG asked if I would want to join them, so I kind of just joined up with them.
Did you have any like Brood War experience, or?
Mostly they picked me up off my Warcraft 3 background.
Oh, okay.
And then also in the beta, I was one of the best players in the beta. So
nice. So my understanding is that people that came from Brood War were, I guess, more prone to playing well. I guess macro. They were all about macro mechanics, whereas Warcraft 3 was more about micro and I guess unit control.
Definitely.
Do you feel like that's where what's pretty much the difference?
Yeah, pretty much. Except like I never actually had any micro in Warcraft. I just like kind of used tactics more and outmaneuver people. Okay. But I'm like the one exception out of like anybody who ever played Warcraft. So it's pretty much all just micro. And that's why you see a lot of the players who a lot of the top protesters right now come from Warcraft because you don't need to like have smart decisions. You watch there's a lot of top people like Hawk Nanawa, Sase. I mean, there's more, right? But all those top protesters from Europe and from North America, Kibikaki, right? They'll come from Warcraft background, and they may not make solid strategic planning, but their micro is just so great that they can make anything work.
Now, do you feel like you have somebody that you look up to that you want to like try to emulate almost?
Anyone who's being very successful. I mean, there's no one in particular I have as like a role model.
Unless he wants to beat them.
Yeah, I don't really have someone like any one person. Just any of the top guys in Korea, I kind of respect for the level of play they put out.
Okay. Well, very cool. I do appreciate your time.
Sure. Thank you.
So thank you.
My name is Cody Connors. I'm the general manager of Evil Geniuses, and you're listening to StarCast.
All right. So how did you, come into being the general manager of EG?
It's actually quite a long story. About